Hello, this is Marc McElroy. I'm here at the Electric Cave Recording Studio. As you can see behind me is one of our analog machines. We love analog, and the studio is based on kind of analog principles, real board, real tube mics, and everything ends up in a computer eventually, one way or another. But we do offer 1 inch 16. We have a 2-track mixdown. But I'm not here to talk about analog, and that's the irony. I'm here to talk about digital file formats. So, let's talk a little about the digital file formats, what to use and when, what sample rates, what bit rates, and what it all means. So, first let's talk about what is CD quality. And that's 16-bit 44.1. That was a standard that was thought up back in '79, a long time ago, so that they thought the CD was going to be for classical music mostly, audiophile music, and so they found the longest classical piece of music, which I believe it could have been Beethoven's Fifth. I can't remember exactly, but it came to 74 minutes, and they're like, well, a CD is going to have to be 74 minutes long, so whatever you do, just make it so you can fit at least 74 minutes on it. So they did, and that's how we got 44.1. Which is a weird sample rate, but that was how to get 74 minutes on a CD, and it's become a standard ever since. But in the studio, digital recording standards have gotten better, so now it's not uncommon to record at higher bit rates and higher sample rates. So let's talk about that again. So the big question: what bit or sample rate should I record at? If you're home recording, or you bring tracks in to add to mixes or to be mixed, the simple answer is the highest rate possible. So a lot of hardware has limitations as to what a lot of kind of home hardware is going to. The highest rate it can do is 48, or some 96. And always set your bit rate to as high as you can, but 24 is the standard. There is a 32-bit rate that's offered in some software. Between 16 and 24, you can really hear a difference in quality. Between 24 and 32, storage space has gotten so cheap that it's not as important, but bigger bit rates, bigger sample rates create bigger files. Also, you want to work with your files at their original quality. So, and you want to work with them at the highest sample and bit rate quality you can, because your plugins work better at the higher sample rates and higher bit rates. So I commonly, a good middle of the road is 2496. Of course, there are sample rates of up to 192 that are commonly used in studios. 192 is really good, and now that storage space is getting easier and easier, it's going to become more common. And 192 is also the line at which digital begins to rival analog a little bit as far as the sound quality. So what about 44.1, 88.2, and all the other multiples of 44.1? I used to work in 44.1 and 88.2 years ago, because everything we were doing was going to end up on a CD. And those are the CD, 44.1 is the CD sample rate, 88.2 is a multiple of that. Therefore, your samples are all in the same place when you change. So you're not taking, it's hard to do without a diagram, but just picture a bunch of samples, and when you change the rate, you put all your samples in different spots, and so you're kind of creating a flaw in some ways to your digital recording. Although you don't hear it with your ear, it's just technically a flaw. So we used to record at 44.1, 88.2 a lot, but now things are ending up digital. So you don't have to really kind of worry about. And also, the other thing is, a lot of things are getting bounced through Summers, analog bounce back into a computer sometimes, but then the sample rate gets reset, so it's not as much of a concern there. So I've taken to working at 96 and higher. for the quality reasons, and because a lot of things are ending up in other digital formats, and also things are ending up the things that end up on a CD can be end up going through a summing process that kind of resets the bit rate. So the answer to the short question is my what sample rate and bit rate should I use? As high as you can. 2496 is a good middle ground quality digital thing that you could do at home. So let's talk about other file formats. What's a WAV? What's an AIF? They're the same thing. The W in WAV is for Windows. The A in AIF is for Apple. And so they weren't even competing formats, but they called the same file two different things on two different platforms. Now Apple computers hear waves, and PC computers hear Apple files. They can open them, close them, save them. There's I'm old enough to remember when you couldn't even Apple and Microsoft operating systems could not talk to each other. But now that's all a thing of the past. So WAV, WAVE, AIF, they're the same thing. So quality-wise, they're identical. So if you're working on PC, use the WAVE. If you're working on Apple, use the AIF, or it doesn't matter. Let's talk about MP3s. People who know me know that I frequently call MP3s evil. That's because they kind of are. They used to be really evil. I used to listen to MP3s and it used to hurt. Like literally, like, oh man, I could hear the like the bad compression and the loss of quality. Every once in a while I'll put on an FM radio station and I'll hear something that's obviously an MP3 on the radio. There's no reason to play MP3s on the radio. The storage is nearly infinite and cheap. But for some reason, people are still squishing their songs down to MP3s. And like I'll hear it and I'm like, oh, that's an MP3. A lot of people can't hear the difference at all. That's okay too. It's a subtle difference. But my advice always is turn your thing into MP3 last. And some young people now are mixing to MP3 just so they can email them easier. You know, you don't have to use a file sharing thing. You just put them in an email or something. Don't do that. I mean, it's not completely consequential. The universe will be the same. But there is no real reason why you want to economize that size at this rate. When the MP3 was popular 20 years ago, yeah, about 20 years ago when it first came around, 18 years ago, hard drives were like 4 gigabytes. So you had to make music smaller to fit it on a computer. Now every computer comes with a terabyte and more. Just storage is everywhere. They give it away online. These drives are really cheap. You can get a terabyte for $50 or something. So there's no need to keep things as MP3s, other than on your phone or on any other kind of something that's really limited storage space. And someday that's not even going to be a concern. But so yeah, have MP3s on your phone, your iPod, or your player or whatever. But always work at the higher levels and go to MP3 at the last moment. Because it's lower quality than CD quality. Remember I said CD quality, because I was being ironic with the air quotes, because it's 1979 digital quality. But MP3 is even lower than that. You take a CD file and then you turn it into something even less. So, I guess that would do it for now. So, MP3, bad. WAV, AAF, good. And we talked about bit rates. That should do it for now. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it.